Hello, lovely human beings. It's Loretta with Sparrowhawker Designs. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you how I made this cute little slow stitch Christmas ornament. Can y'all see that? I don't know why I'm asking you. It's not like you can answer me. Anyway, what you'll need, so what I did was I took a piece of fabric like this. You'll need 2 square pieces of fabric. And you can make these any size you want, whatever size your template is. And you can, you know, just whatever size and whatever template you want. And then you lay your fabrics out. The reason this is already done is because I did this video once before and I had a massive sneezing attack right in the middle of it. So anyway, so you lay your fabrics out however you want them. I have Christmas scraps. I have a huge bag of Christmas scraps, and actually I have another bag of Christmas scraps. Some of these are from the Julie Rothermel Colonial Christmas collection from, I think it was like 2008. And I love that fabric so much that I've literally kept every little tiny piece that I have. Anyway, so then you will need to, whatever your template's going to be, I don't have my template here, but I usually use something like this. So, whatever your template is, trace around, baste your fabrics down first, then trace your circle, and then cut out the circle. Make sure you don't, I tend to baste like as close to the center as I can because I am going to cut and I don't want my basting stitches to come out until after I've done my decorative stitching. And then I use, so you'll need one for the front and one for the back. And then I use a piece of batting in the middle. You could use felt, you could use an old quilt, and you know, you don't really even have to have the batting. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. I just like kind of the puffiness to it. I don't know why, but anyway. If you are going to use something in the middle though, make sure you cut it a little bit, I would say maybe 1/4 of an inch smaller than your decorative fabrics, the stuff that's going to show. Because when you go to sew it together, I like to kind of pinch it down at the end, and it's easier to sew through for one thing, but the other thing is, I don't know, I don't want the batting, I guess, coming to the edge, so I cut it a little bit smaller. Now, what I do once, let's just pretend that this has all of our fabrics on it, okay? So I will do decorative stitching on the front, usually with the batting. And then the back, I don't use another piece of batting. I will just do the stitching on just the fabric, like this, because I don't want 2 pieces of batting in the middle. So then, when we are done and we have our batting in the middle, I just do a little basting stitch, not a basting stitch, like a borrow stitch around the outside. That's when you want to make sure that you get your whatever it is you're going to use to hang it with. You could use, I used rickrack, you could use seam binding, you could use some kind of yarn. You could use just strips of fabric, strips of lace. You could use whatever you want. Yeah, and so just make sure that you get a couple of really good stitches right through both legs on there, and then just do your stitching around the edge. Now I have taken my nail and kind of scuffed up the edges here to make it look even more kind of country or primitive or whatever. You can tell I have not gotten to this part of the fabric yet. So, so yeah, you do whatever you want with it. I deliberately chose to put sequins on here because I thought once this is hanging on a Christmas tree, those lights are going to just glitter off of the sequins. So if you do, I mean, you can use whatever you want, obviously, but I deliberately chose to use shiny sequins instead of a sequence with more of a dull finish on it. So yeah, this middle piece here came from an old piece of Christmas fabric from Joann's. I think it was from like 10 years ago. This is literally all I have left. It was a big panel like, and I just went through and cut all these things out. I put these in my Christmas slow stitch kits too, which are all sold out now, but and then yeah, old laces and trims and some yo-yos, and I stamped a piece of fabric there. However, and this is all done raw edge, it's the slow stitch style. You could do this in a crazy quilt style where you do the sew and flip method so that your edges are neat and under like that. You could do it that way if you want. You could also just do one piece of fabric. You don't have to do the collage if you don't want to. I was going to tell you something else. Oh, and if you wanted, you could even, like if you've got, these are from Aunt Martha's. I don't know if you guys have those in other countries, but it's a little envelope of iron-on embroidery patterns. And so you could even do something like that if it's small enough and just embroider that. You could freehand draw something. You can't really use like the tracing method with the light box because you're not going to be able to see through, no matter how good your light box is, you won't be able to see through that kind of fabric. But anyway, so you either have to freehand or iron something down or whatever. And yeah, so it took me quite a bit. I'm kind of slow anyway. I'm slower than most people are. Like if you give me the same project as somebody else, it will take me twice as long to do it. I think the only reason I get as much done as I do is because it's literally like I do it all day long. So, well, except for when I'm at work. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know if this would be, if you are much faster than me, this might make a great project for mass makes, like for all the kids in your son's class or, you know, something like that. I am not that fast, so I will probably reserve these for special gifts or it maybe even like to sell, but I would not be able to make very many of them. You know, like between now and December 15th, I don't know how many I could actually get done. But maybe if they were smaller, it might be, I just like having the room to work, but you know, you do whatever you want. Anyway, yeah, just to go over it one more time, you'll need 2 pieces of fabric. You will need to baste down your scraps. You will need to mark your circle. If you use something in the middle, your circle will have to be a little bit smaller, about 1/4 inch smaller. And once you are done, you know, decorate it however you want. You could, like I said, you can do the crazy quilt flip and sew method if you want, if you didn't want to do the more slow stitching raw edge style. And then sew it around and make sure you get your hook in there. So yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to come on and share that with you and tell you all to have a great weekend. Thanks, bye.